Lacey here with the Sweet Pea staff, and welcome back. It is fair time going on around here, and we love the fair. We love all things about the fair food, all the good rides and everything. So I wanted to make a healthy version of one of our favorite fair foods, soft pretzels. But I don't want all those refined flours or all those empty carbs. So instead, today, I'm gonna show you how to make healthy baked sweet potato pretzel bites that are super yummy, plus 2 different dipping sauces to dip them into, and I'll also show you how to turn them into regular soft pretzels. This is gonna be a lot of fun today, so let's get started. So our first step is to proof our yeast, and I recommend doing this to make sure your yeast is good. That way it's going to make your pretzels rise later. So definitely wanna do this step. In a mixing bowl, we're gonna add in some warm water, followed by a little bit of pure maple syrup, melted coconut oil, and a little sea salt, and then stir all of this together until it's fully dissolved. Then we're gonna sprinkle over a packet of active dry yeast over this and just let it sit for a good 8 to 10 minutes. What we're looking for is for the yeast to start eating up all the sugars that are in the water, and it'll start getting foamy and bubbly and start smelling like bread. When that's done, you know it is good to go and it has been proofed. Now into our proofed yeast mixture, we are also going to add in some whole wheat pastry flour and some cooked mashed sweet potato. Then go ahead and stir all of this together until it's fully combined. If you find that the dough still looks super sticky, you can start adding in a little bit of the whole wheat pastry flour. Just do it a tablespoon at a time. What you're looking for is for the dough to start pulling away from the sides of the bowl. Now transfer the dough ball out onto a flat, clean, and lightly floured surface, and then we're gonna knead it with our hands for about 3 to 5 minutes. You'll know it's done when it no longer sticks to your hands, and when you press your finger into it, it kind of springs back at you. Once it gets to that point, go ahead and let it set for 5 minutes. Then go ahead and start dividing the dough up. What we're looking for is to divide it into half, then divide that half into half, and then divide that half into half. So that we have 4 small pieces that we can then roll out. Then grab one of those dough balls and then roll that out into a long rope using your hands just on the flat surface. You can use a little bit of flour if it starts to stick. We're looking for this rope to be about 8 to 12 inches long and to be evenly sized the whole way across. So at this point, you could turn this rope into a pretzel, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But we're making pretzel bites, so what we'll do is we'll take our knife or our kitchen scraper, and we're gonna go ahead and every inch to 1.5 inches, we're gonna pinch off a piece, and that's gonna make our pretzel bite. Repeat with the remaining ropes. If instead you wanted to make full-on soft pretzels, what you would do is you would take the same rope, you would roll it out the exact same way, and you would take both ends, and then you would cross them once at the top, cross them one more time, and then bring that end all the way down to the bottom of our pretzel circle, and poof, it forms a pretzel. So now that we have all of our pretzel bites formed, go ahead and lay a clean, dry cloth over all of this and let it sit for about 20 minutes. This is gonna allow the pretzel dough to rise a little bit before we put them into the oven. Speaking of, go ahead and start preheating your oven at this time to 425 degrees Fahrenheit and line a baking sheet with some parchment paper. And this is also a great time to get our baking soda water bath started. What's a baking soda water bath, you ask? Very good question. This is something that we do with baking pretzels. It adds the texture and the color and all of that pretzel goodness to our dough. Rather than it coming out tasting just like bread, it's gonna taste like pretzel. So this is a really important step, and it's super easy. All you have to do is in a stock pot or in a deep skillet, combine some water with some baking soda. Stir that together and bring it to a boil. Then once you have your pretzel dough ready and risen, you just grab a few of those and place them carefully into your baking soda water bath and let them set in the water for about 15 seconds. You can flip them over halfway through. Then carefully remove your pretzel bites out of the baking soda water bath using a slotted spoon and go ahead and set those out onto our prepared baking sheets. It's not pretzels without sea salt, right? So go ahead and sprinkle over some coarse sea salt on top of your pretzel bites while they're nice and wet from the water bath. If you're gonna do the soft pretzels instead of the pretzel bites and you're using this sweet potato pretzel dough, I recommend instead of putting it into the water bath, actually brushing some of that water onto the top of your formed pretzel. Because we're using sweet potato and unrefined flours, it's not gonna hold up as well as a pretzel shape. You can do it, but it'll get a little mangled. Now just transfer our pretzel bites into the oven that's been preheated at 425 degrees. We're gonna cook for about 7 to 9 minutes. What we're looking for is for the dough to become hardened and to start to become nice and golden brown on top, and it's gonna start looking like some pretzel bites. Then remove the pretzels from the oven and allow them to set on the baking sheet for about 5 minutes before transferring them over to a wire rack to cool completely. While the pretzels are cooling, we can make our delicious dipping sauces. Our first one is gonna be a honey mustard dipping sauce because nothing goes better with pretzels than mustard, if you ask me. So in a small mixing bowl, we're gonna combine some plain full-fat Greek yogurt, some clean yellow mustard, raw honey, and freshly squeezed lemon juice. And then whisk all of this together until it's smooth. And that is a super easy honey mustard dipping sauce. Set that aside, and next we are going to make a delicious cinnamon Greek yogurt dip, which is your sweet dip for our pretzels, which also goes really well. So good. So in a small mixing bowl, go ahead and combine some full-fat plain Greek yogurt, followed by some pure maple syrup, vanilla extract, and ground cinnamon, and then stir all of that together until it's nicely combined. So now you have a sweet and cinnamony dip for our sweet potato pretzel bites. Okay, so now you know how to make homemade baked pretzels, you know how to make healthy pretzels, you know how to make pretzels out of sweet potatoes and unrefined flours, and you have a healthy, fair snack to make at home, plus 2 delicious dipping sauces. I hope you're all set for this fair season. Let me know which you're gonna make first. Are you gonna do the honey mustard, or are you gonna do the sweet cinnamon? And are you gonna make them into pretzel bites, or are you gonna make them into full-on pretzels? And make sure to subscribe so you never miss our new weekly recipe videos, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.